Hello, welcome everyone to
Yes,
today's session. Yes, ma'am, we are starting. I'll just introduce and then we'll
okay.
start. Everyone,
Sure, sure,
I
sure.
welcome all of you to today's session. Today's session is going to be very exciting. We are going to talk about black soldier fly farming. So, BSF farming is a really interesting concept which has started recently, which has originated in Western countries, but is being adopted in India really fast. So in BSF farming, like if you have watched a few videos on YouTube or read it somewhere, the interesting thing is that it is a very high protein feed. If you are doing poultry farming or fish farming, then it can serve as a very high protein feed for your fishes and for your poultry chicken. And you can even use it to sell it to fish farmers and poultry farmer. It has host of other benefits as well, which we'll soon be covering up. So today we have our own BSF expert, Anupa ma'am. So she is the CEO of KovaiBSF, and after working in corporate for a few years, she decided to come back. She was working in Singapore. She decided to come back to India and start this new farming technology and vow to make it famous. After achieving success herself, she has joined forces with Rocket Skills platform and has brought together an amazing, a wonderful course for all of you who are interested in BSF as a business opportunity. So do attend today's webinar. Today's webinar will be around 45 minutes to 1 hour. It will have first a presentation, which ma'am will be sharing with all of you for another 25-30 minutes. Post that, we'll also be having question answer session. So if you have any kind of questions, you can ask those questions with us, and we'll be more than happy to answer them so that you can get the right knowledge and eventually start your own business in BSF farming. It is an extremely interesting topic and it has not yet become very famous. So the thing with a lot of things are when it becomes extremely popular, the supply increases and the profit margin decreases. So it is at the right time right now, and I would urge all of you to start this. So enough about this. I think we should start. Enough about the introduction. I think we should start today's session. Before that, I would request Anupa ma'am to introduce herself and tell everyone what today's session is going to be about and how why everyone should be keen on learning BSF farming. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, Mohit.
Hi, ma'am. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Mohit, is my video is on?
No, ma'am. We can't see your video, and so in this webinar, you won't be able to see other attendees, but they are here. Like we have more than 20-25 attendees right now on YouTube and our mobile app.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay. So, hi, everyone. Hope you had a good week and looking forward for a weekend. I'm Anupa Velusamy. I'm from Tamil Nadu. I own a company called KovaiBSF. We are into BSF farming since 2017 onwards. So this is situated in Coimbatore, in southern part of India. So a little background about myself would be I am an
Excuse me,
engineer
ma'am.
turned into IT.
Ma'am, can you please
Yeah,
switch on your video? Switch on your video. It's still not visible.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
we are,
yeah,
we are.
yeah.
Okay,
Thank you so
great.
much, ma'am.
Thank you, Mohit. So hi everyone. So a little bit background of myself. I'm a engineer turned into IT. Then somehow I didn't gel with the IT industry. So I did my MBA from Birla Institute of Management, and I worked for Bata as an area manager. Then after marriage, I moved to Singapore, worked for a couple of years there in finance sector. And meanwhile, I got into this idea of BSF mainly because of aquaphonic unit. I had a test setup. I was so impressed about aquaphonic merging self-grown veggies with the fish because it is again gives a lot of sustainability. When I started looking for a live feed for my fish, there were many options. So I was culturing all in small units where I was trying and testing in my own home. Whenever I find the leisure time, I spent on doing all those. Then I came up with this black soldier flies, and I was really impressed by it. It all started with a small experiment, sort of. Let's try do it. I found it in my compost from nature itself. So I slowly started learning about BSF, and eventually it turned to be my own career and my own business. The reason why the BSF in itself is so exciting currently in world is the protein source. It is a very promising protein source, um, and world is now looking for a protein alternative as a more sustainable way of protein cultivation. I would say BSF currently, the situation of BSF currently is in very beginning stage, at least for India. In Asia Pacific, Africa, and in European countries, there are far better commercial units which are producing tons of BSF. Those are the industries setups that are really inspiring for us. I still wonder, it took a lot of time for BSF technology to enter India. Even I started early in 2017. There were not many guidance or technical support where I would be able to get to know the knowledge. Even there won't be a proper supplier for the mother culture. It was really difficult those days, and the starting penetration in India was damn slow. Even still, I would say the BSF cultivation, BSF farming is in hands of very few. Very few players are there in India who have reached commercial level. And there are a lot of focus and R&Ds are happening in larger firms and companies as well, because it is exciting. And this is the correct time that India is getting the awareness about BSF, and things are opening up a lot. And this course is again, I haven't found any teaching material or teaching platform or any sort of guidance in India for BSF farming. So I thought I would join with Rocket Skills, and will provide the online platform so that it is the knowledge is available pan India, so that everybody, every nook and corner, everybody will have an experience on BSF and will use and start popularizing BSF as a farming. Having said that, in 2017, I didn't have much of a support in India, so I had to travel to Indonesia, and I started learning about BSF, and slowly and steadily, I also collaborate with the Indonesian big BSF farmers and units. So we have developed and reached commercial level, and slowly and steadily, things are getting mobilized in India also. Market is being established. We are working on the market as well, because the product is new. The product is good, efficient. It is totally viable, and it is proving in many other countries, all other parts of the world. It is considered to be more exciting and more sustainable. But still, the product is new in India, so we have been marketing, introducing, and again teaching. Bringing into the knowledge part, teaching is again a venture where we need to popularize, and we need more of young entrepreneurs, more of an entrepreneurs who are into other farming, other supportive farming like poultry and aquaculture, who want have to join BSF farming. Why I say is, the first reason why BSF is so exciting for the entire world is, as I told you, the protein alternative. Currently, feed industry is totally based on protein source. The cost of feed is totally ruled by the percentage of protein available in the feed. Somehow it is black. I won't say I really don't support because just by, if you have 28% of protein, the feed cost is this much, and if you have 40% of protein, feed cost is at certain price. I really don't support that costing, but somehow that is the market currently. The entire feed cost there totally depends on the protein, and then evaluating the protein percentage that is getting observed by an animal, either chicken or fish or the pet animals. Instead, the feed industry is somehow it is a way they price it based on protein source. So that end of the day, protein is becoming very important, very crucial for a farm to be successful or to increase your profit margin, right? So even if you are a new BSF farmer, or an existing poultry farmer, or an existing fish farming or aquaculture farming, then BSF is going to change the game the way you have been looking at poultry or aquaculture, because all of us know feed cost is the major expense for any poultry or fish for the feed industry, right? I mean, for any of the livestock growth or culture of farming. So when we have this BSF, we are totally reducing on the feed cost. The economics I will be discussing with you. In the course also, we have all the details of the how the economics works out. What I'm saying is, just instead of just correlating totally on the feed cost, it definitely reduces the feed cost. See, if you're replacing the feed by 50%, or if you're replacing it by 60% or 30%, 40%, how much of a feed cost you are replacing, that going to get supplemented with BSF that you produce on your own. If you take the expense part, if it is a large poultry, you can just calculate the expense and go on. If you are a small poultry owner with maybe 100 chickens, you can do it by yourself, and the total 40-50% will be your profit, isn't it? Again, how much the labor cost or transport, how much waste that is being used by the BSF matters. So the main motive why the BSF is gaining popularity, especially in feed industry, is to reduce the cost. End of the day, feed cost is being taken care of if we have BSF unit. So, having said that, I will give you a brief intro about BSF first, instead of getting too much of detail into the marketing part. BSF is a insect species. It is closely related to flies. It looks like wasp, but it is not wasp. It doesn't have any mouth or any part to sting or eat when it is in adult fly form. So how this BSF life cycle works is, the BSF will be laying eggs. From the eggs, we will get larvae, and from the larvae, you will have a pupae, pre-pupae stage. It's a little complicated. I don't want to use more of a technical term here. From the larvae, again, fly forms, and the flies mate and give eggs. Just a simple cycle. So we have eggs, and we'll have larvae, and we will get flies, and the flies will mate and give eggs. Simple. So in this meantime, we'll have the larvae growth time is when the larvae starts consuming and processes waste. Here, waste is a keyword. I'll just come to that point. So when they process the waste, they consume whatever is nutritious for them, but it's a waste for us. So they consume that, they grow within a period of 10 to 15 days. That is another important point, because BSF is the only insect. Even there are other insects that have commercially came into the market, but BSF is the only insect which is having such a short span of producing the required protein. Within 15 days, you will be able to get. Yes, Mohammed.
Yeah, I was just saying if we can move on to the presentation and start with it, I'll just require another 2 minutes. I think then you can explain the
Okay,
whole,
yeah,
then you can explain
yeah,
the
it would
whole
be better
concept.
if we have.
Yes, you can explain everything
Sure, sure.
using the presentation. All right.
Okay,
So,
Vinod.
everyone, you now you know me and ma'am, Anupa ma'am. So I just have two requests from all of you. One is the most important one is to introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself in the section, comment section, on the chat. Type your name and your place. We would also like to know where you are from and and want to know more about you. So definitely do not forget to write your name and your place in the chat section, in the comment section. The second is, if you're watching this on YouTube, do subscribe to us on YouTube. If you are watching this on a mobile app, do subscribe to a mobile app. If you're watching this on YouTube, do download our mobile app. So that's a small request. We have a wonderful Rocket Skills mobile app. You can access all our courses over there. Rocket Skills is a platform for you to know more about agriculture, modern farming techniques, and start your own business. We have started this in the last year and have already trained more than 10,000 customers, and most of them have started their own business. So do not miss this opportunity. For example, today is this session on BSF farming. We keep on having more sessions like this, and we have amazing courses for all of you so that more people start their own agri business. That's it from my side. So do not forget to introduce yourself. Now I would be starting with the presentation, and the stage will be all ma'ams. I'll just share my screen. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, yes, yes, Mohan.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Over to you. Let me know when you want
Sure,
me to move to
sure.
the next slide.
Thank you, Mohan. So I have given a brief already about myself. So this is what I am. I did my MBA and all those stuff which I have already told you. I started KovaiBSF in 2017, and this is the internship I had with Forward in Indonesia. And currently, I've been mentored by Mr. Adi from Kovai Colony BSF. He is also from Indonesia. We have a collaboration with him. So there are network of BSF farmers who are already farmed because it's been quite long in the industry, and we could gel and share knowledge with each other around the world. So BSF again is still in developing stage. I would relate BSF farming to the initial stage of boiler chicken that happened in 1980s, where the first set of cage farming of chicken popularized in India, where the intense cultivation of poultry chicken started happening. So slowly and gradually, the industry evolved with all the struggles and of all the challenges they faced in the industry. Gradually, the industry evolved, and now we are in a position that it is totally intensified, and the volume that has been created from India is huge. India leads in many of the poultry sector. Even India tops the ranking in many of the poultry sector for hatching or for layers. So I personally feel that even BSF is in that stage, initial stage, where it's a new technology which has entered India and has a gradual growth curve by itself, that is going to happen in coming 10 years, or because things are changing rapidly nowadays compared to 1980s. So maybe in 10 years down the line, it's going to reach the peak. It would be the correct time to start to grasp the early bird advantage of BSF industry as such. The main reason, again, I'm insisting on the point is the product is really exciting, and people started looking for sustainable alternative, and things are not happening. This is another slide of mine working in the internship. Next time, I'll just give an intro. So things are started moving to look into alternative for even for soya meal or for fish meal. See, currently how industry looks at it is like fish meal in the top notch. The price has increased a lot, and it is in top notch for the quality. And soya meal, they are substituting for the protein content, but yeah, quality is lower for the price conscious. But BSF with all the wide nutritional spectrum, it is in a premium segment where people are looking at very eagerly to see as a protein alternative. It's not only for pet animals or animals livestock. I think BSF is changing directly towards a human for protein alternative instead of having to go through a food chain. Uh, Things are changing so fast that BSF is directly used for protein source for human consumption in itself. I'll come to that point later. So, BSF farming, why BSF farming? Protein alternatives for chicken, fish, pet animals, and even humans. BSF industry currently in India, the output is more focused on pet industry, but slowly and gradually it has to reach feed industry because pet industry is again a limited niche market. But the basic idea or the end then BSF has to reach the real purpose of black soldier flies farming is for feed industry, and it has to happen. If I talk about feed industry, it's not just a few hundred tons. You can't even imagine. Even the thing is, the amount of feed that has been required. I would say every street of India should have a BSF unit where they consume the waste produced within the street and produce BSF that caters the demand within the street. It is that wide, it is that broad, and market is such huge, really huge. But it takes time. It has own growth cycle, as I told you. It takes time, but the demand and the uh, product as such is really huge because it is going to reach feed industry where we require tons and tons of BSF. That is not even in the scale of production currently we are aiming at. It is totally unimaginable. For example, if I can tell you a very famous uh, poultry feed company here in South India, they are targeting and it is in high demand. And that production is in very high demand, but they are targeting a production of 1,20,000 tons per month. So about it is like just one company that is focusing on a very local region. So you can imagine the feed industry's market size. So if we are looking at least 2%, 3% of BSF market, it's really huge. And this is the right time to grasp the trend and move forward. The insect protein is considered most sustainable source, and high demand of quality protein is in market. As I told you, even in fish meal, it is not things are changing as far as fishing is concerned, and the quality wise also there are compromising things happening in fish meal and in soya meal. Again, plant based protein. When the nutrition spectrum is concerned, the wider the nutrition spectrum that is required, the more of the animal protein is being considered in the feed industry. So, in all the aspects, insect protein looks very viable, and it has already started proving its base in many countries currently. So again, it helps environment. I'm taking it as a second point where BSF is grown on waste, but the main prime focus that attracts many of the farmers, that attracted me for BSF farming is the waste processing skill that BSF is having. BSF is a very voracious eater and it consumes a lot of waste. So we can process efficiently our organic waste. We can really process efficiently and quickly because the growth cycle is just 15 days and it keeps eating like anything, and the process time is very less. So the byproduct what you are having, if we harvest the BSF as a protein source, the byproduct what we are having is a compost, and insect compost is called as frass. So that compost is of very high value. It is again having a good potential for organic farming, and the mode of and the value of organic farming is increasing. So I have been discussing in meanwhile with the economics as well. So if you are particularly focused on just uh, be a good Mohita, yeah. BSF again, it takes less of why again it is a more viable for us to start BSF is it takes less labor, less space. The worms are very little. You can have it in even a small container and keep going as per your requirement. And the production rate, reproduction rate of black soldier flies or worm production, insect production is really high, and it gets multiplied. You can increase the capacity as and when you require in a very quick span of time. The total life cycle of BSF is just 45 days. So if you want to increase or decrease the production, it is easily achievable. So there are many farming part. There are many advantage that makes it is very attractive for the farmers to get involved into BSF. If we come into the economics part, uh, again, saving the feed cost in poultry and aqua units. As I already discussed with you, feed is the main cost consumer of any poultry unit. And the change, the less, even a couple of rupees decrease per kg in feed cost can change the game. So there are good enough earning in that part. And if you are totally a BSF farmer, who will be your market? I mean, who will be your customer? Will be like pet industry, or poultry industry, or aqua industry. So everything in a whole setup, that the market is wide, and the efficiency we are bringing in BSF farming is going to directly impact the profit we are gaining from BSF farming. Next slide, Mohit. Mohit, next slide. So the products. So BSF farming, the main output is taken in the larvae stage. We will be harvesting the larvae, and the products are from the larvae. The 10 to 15 days growth of larvae before it forms into flies. That is the money maker actually. But as far as an BSF farmer is concerned, BSF farmer will have demand for BSF eggs. People who want to start a culture or who want to just farm larvae for their poultry, they will take eggs from you, so BSF eggs. They will take $5. $5 DOLS means 5-day old larvae. So they will purchase small larvae also from you to start the next stage. And BSF as a larvae itself is a product where it directly gets consumed by chicken or cow feed. And BSF pre-pupae, again, people get pre-pupae to start the next mother culture, to start their own BSF farm, or to start their own cycle of BSF. So these would, all the four, BSF eggs, BSF phytols, BSF larvae, pre-pupae, all this comes under unprocessed BSF products, because we are not doing much about, we just harvest and we make money of that is the product in itself. But when we go for a processed side of BSF products, you have BSF dried. You can dry the BSF larvae, and then that is a BSF dried product. BSF meal, when you extract the oil, fatty acids, fat content of BSF, there is around 28 to 25, 28 to 30% of fat content in BSF. It again depends on the food we are feeding the BSF. So based on that, you will have huge oil content. So when we extract defacton meal, that's what we say. When we extract the oil out of BSF, we'll have a BSF meal. So that is in itself is a product, and BSF oil is a product that is getting consumed in feed industry. BSF compost, as I told you, the processed manure of BSF, that is called frass. This is a compost, very good compost, nutritionally rich compost for organic farming that has its own value. Then after this, it's all more of evaluation that is happening. Evaluation that is happening in BSF. BSF chitin is a chemical substance that is available in the skulls and in the exoskeleton part of BSF. That if we extract, it has a huge market and valuable market, especially in cosmetics and medical industry. And things are getting evolved every day. People have started using and finding new products, new way of using BSF byproducts. And there are research happening even in India. I do support some of the research students where they are doing certain research where they can use the BSF based material to find different products. Like one of known student as they want to start their own alternative for plastic from BSF, something like that. So researchers keep on going in BSF, and there is a huge way to, I mean, for the evolution of the industry in itself. But as far as now, the market is huge and the demand is high, where we have to tap the market, and large quantity of BSF is being required. So everyone has a huge opportunity, and the early start is going to grasp the opportunity. Yeah, Mohammed. Back to you, Mohammed. We are done. We can take questions, I believe. So, marketing wise, currently it's more of a pet focused market in India. And if you can just go through a browse Amazon, or to just to have a glimpse of what's going on in BSF industry, you would be surprised to see the pricing of BSF larvae, because there is a huge demand and gap between production and supply, and the price is huge, and the demand is also high. People do get it even if the price is high, and slowly and steadily when the market reaches maturity, the price is going to reduce. Affordable pricing to meet the industry's need is going to happen, but still market is huge and wide to accommodate the required farmers in, because there is a need for BSF. There is a need for protein alternative, and there is a lag in awareness and knowledge sharing about BSF farming. That would be the main reason I think that it took so long for India to get into BSF compared to other Asian or African countries, where still compared to the economic perspective, these nations are growing, but still they are much more advanced, and they have much more advanced units of black soldier flies compared to India. So I would really urge all of you that BS is going to be a big hit, new evolving industry, and thanks for joining to understand the details about BSF farming. But if you start it now, it's going to be a game changer or a beginning advantage for you in the beginning stage, initial stage, so that don't waste time to grasp the market. And I got a question in how much amount we started. Okay, Virat and or tell us about its area required. Okay, all those details are given in the course material, Virat. You can join the course. It has all the details. Course structure is maintained, is done in such a way that it gives the information for a beginner just to start, or if there are people who already do it on small scale, already have knowledge about it, can scale up to a commercial level. So all the details till from the design to commercial level, all the details is shared in the course, from structure, measurements, what are the different types of material used. All these details are covered in the course. So you would get a much more clarity during the course, I believe. How do we sell the product? How to get market? Malini, thanks for the question. Malini, we have to market the product, Malini, like any other product. But a pet industry, the awareness of BSF is really high. It has increased from 2017. If we consider now, the awareness about BSF has increased a lot. Many of the feed companies have started their own R&D unit, which is a good sign for us. Meaning people are now aware of BSF and they are interested to get the product. The only concern would be the unavailability of product. How many are even the large units won't be able to supply for the need of the market. So the only lag would be market is available, just we need to supply. So you just have to tap. Initially, you can tap the pet industries, Malini. Please tell us, Sujit. Hi, Sujit. Please tell us something. Oh, just a minute. Okay, please tell us something about the unit economics, like current market rate, or to give a glimpse of the unit economics. Sujit, if you're going to have a poultry unit of 100 chickens, say, and a production of 10 kg of BSF larvae, that would be really high for 10 kg. The BSF is considered as a supplement for poultry. Just 3 grams of BSF would be sufficient per chicken as a supplement, not as a feed. At least if you want to give it as a supplement to increase the immunity, increase the bone strength, or its shell thickness, and the quality of meat and quality of food, eggs, then just 3 grams per day of BSF is live BSF is sufficient, is what research say. So if we are taking into consideration, then around 100 chickens, you would require hardly 1.5 kgs of BSF larvae. You can produce 1.5 kgs of BSF larvae in just 20 by 20 room. If you want to do it in an indoor setup, or just a space of that much would be sufficient for you to start BSF and to harvest around 1 to 1.5 kgs. That is very much achievable. So what would be the cost requirement for 20 by 20? That is around 400 square feet. Initial investment of around 15,000 rupees would do to have all the basic requirements, basic infrastructure requirements. Just you need some trays and net to start BSF fly cultivation, and a space, and again labor. Is if you are doing it by yourself, there is no labor cost. So just 15,000 rupees should be okay, Sujit.
I think, ma'am, we can continue with the presentation and we'll take the question answers, rest of the question answers at the end.
Okay, Mohit.
Sure.
Okay, the main focus of this course, and the main focus of BSF as a farming itself, is to see BSF as a product and see the BSF for the market. Okay, so the market is huge, as I have been repeatedly saying, market is huge, demand is huge, but we have to take the product in as per the requirement of the market. So I have explained, starting with 10 kgs per day in just a 20 square feet shaded area. 10 kgs is achievable, but at least to begin with, 1.5 kgs for 100 chickens is totally possible. That takes going to be taking around 15,000 rupees. So for a 10 kg setup, you are going to have around 25 to 30,000 rupees. That is the investment you will be requiring. We are not, even in the course, even in the materials and discussions applied, we are not going to focus anything fancy. I'm very clear about it. We are not going to do anything fancy because economics is very important. The way we are going to use the materials and the resources available, we need to reduce the cost because currently maybe it is focusing on feed industry, but end of the day it is going to focus on I'm sorry, currently focusing in pet industry. So end of the day, we are going to focus on the feed industry. So even 1 or 2 rupees will change the margin percentage as and when we reach the volume. So, or in the entire course, everything is discussed in to do it in budget, to use the most cost-effective way and most cost-effective materials to cultivate BSF. So this figure is totally practical. It is achievable. There is no exaggeration. If you can produce 10 kgs of BSF, uh, so you will be earning around the. It depends how you are marketing. The requirement is again it will reach, because for 10 kgs it's going to reach around 25 to 30 rupees, and for the earning will also be close to that based on how you are marketing. If you are totally focusing on pet industry, the margin is high, but the volume is going to be slightly low. If you are in the cities and nearby hobbyist, then you can easily market. The margin is high. You can browse the current price of dried BSF online. The margin is high in pet industry, just the volume and movement may be slow. But this figure is for the feed industry. If we can tap the feed industry, maybe you are in a rural area and you can tap the nearby poultry or aqua unit, definitely you'll be able to make around 30,000 rupees per month if you can produce regularly 10 kgs of BSF from your unit. That is achievable from 20 square feet area. That is not 20 square feet, I'm sorry, it's a 20 by 20, so totally 400 square feet area. Okay, so yeah, so who can take this course? Entrepreneurs who want to get into BSF farming, it is the right time to start for a BSF farming course, and there are complete knowledge about BSF farming, and we have discussions also, WhatsApp group also happening. So you to start a BSF farm, this course would be a viable way to and point to start to get into BSF. Existing poultry and fish farmers, pet breeders who are looking for live alternatives. This is how I started, where there is a huge demand for live feed in pet industries. The breeders, most of the ornamental variety of fish or exotic variety of birds, they need live feed for breeding. So the pet breeders are looking for live alternatives, and BSF would be the best choice for them to give it for their pet. So definitely any of the pet breeders who are interested to provide live feed and to reduce cost also on that basis can join this course. People who are looking for additional and alternative incomes, people who are like ladies who couldn't go out for work because of their personal reasons or for kids' sake, they can have a small unit set up in their own space or terrace, or a small room is sufficient, as I told you. And this is going to daily generate a good income for them, an additional income for them, because hardly you will be requiring 4 hours of time every day to handle it yourself, and you'll have a good additional income indeed. And educational professionals, there are many who are interested in BSF farming and who wanted to take it to their students, made into agriculture university professionals. So if they will be, this course will be right start a platform for them to start with. And municipal and waste management professionals, BSF is a huge hit, especially in waste management sector, where people are looking for a good way, a best way to process waste. So the waste that is getting generated currently is mixed with plastic. So if after the source segregation, if we can process the organic waste properly, we are going to get an additional protein source, and the problem of organic waste for the municipals is also getting solved. So the government officials can take this course to just to understand how things happen, and if they can employ it in their municipals or in their ward or in their local area, it's going to be really beneficial for the local community as well, and it is going to solve a big problem what India is facing, that is the lack in waste management, the gaps that is happening in the waste management sector. Enthusiast and sustainable environmental protectors, enthusiast of sustainability, all that, yes. There are people who get excited about BSF, and when we start learning more about BSF, we get to know how versatile and how exciting this small insect, how helpful they are for us. It is the way it is processing the waste, and the way it is solving the other problem of sustainability in the feed industry. It's like merging the gap in all the segments of problems that we have currently. The main problem, I would say, I have discussed that deeply in the course also, would be the food waste. Almost one third of the way food production is getting wasted. So when we can tap it and convert that into a resource, there is no need of an increase in land or increase in available area. That is totally a different scale of economics that is happening. Things can entirely change if you don't have to waste, if you don't waste food. So not only just wasting, at least processing, avoiding the landfills, processing it properly, and value, increasing the value of the byproducts in itself is going to solve many of the problems. So all the environmental enthusiasts can join this program, and home-based composters. There are many who are looking for some alternatives. There should be some alternative for us to do it in home. Yeah, vermicompost is there, that happens. But apart from vermicompost, we can have a byproduct out of this compost, where you have the organic fertilizer, and also you have a very high protein output. So even your kitchen waste can be converted into two valuable products that you can consume in your own house for your maybe terrace garden, and the larvae you get for your pets or your neighbor's pets. So even in small scale, if you want to do it for just for your home compost, I would say that would be the best. If everyone starts doing their compost in their own home, not throwing the organic waste out of their home, this problem is solved. We can process the plastic waste, we can segregate and process the plastic waste, recycle the plastic waste conveniently. Just since the organic waste and the plastic is getting mixed, there is a huge problem, and waste management becomes such a big challenge just because of this. So every individual in the country can have their own compost unit. Then it's like a dream come true. We don't have to face the pollution problem, at least in lands. So all of these people, this course is structured in such a way that it caters the information needed to all these segment of audience. Next slide, Mohit. I'll just give a brief about the course structure. You'll have an introduction about BSF farming, more or less what I have discussed today. And I have discussed deeply about food waste, its impact on the environment, and why and how to do waste management. Then you will have why, all the whys and benefits of BSF farming, understanding BSF life cycle and the timelines. This is very important to basically understand structure by structure on the BSF life cycle to take it from a small unit to a commercial unit. So that is discussed very deeply in this course. So you'll have details about how to set up and what are the different ways of setting up BSF units, and with their measurements, designs also being shared openly in this course. So the course I have divided into stages of production. So you have different stages of production in the course. So you have the first stage will be egg production. As I told you, the BSF cycle is having from egg, larvae, pre-pupae we call it, pre-pupae, pupae to adult flies, then again eggs. This is how the life cycle of BSF is. So I have divided the life cycle into production, aiming at the commercial scale approach of BSF farming, so that if we divide it into production stage, in commercial level, it is going to be much more viable for handling day-to-day operation. So you have details about egg production, and you have details about 5 doll production, 5-day old larvae production. Next slide. You have the stage 3 would be the larvae production, and stage 4 would be pre-pupae production. Each stage have their own in commercial scale. Each stage has their own infrastructural setup, their own different requirements for commercially developing BSF and scaling up BSF as well. So it is segregated, keeping in mind that even the basic beginners understand the details that is well given in before, to take it further for scaling in commercial, to scaling up to a commercial level. So beginners can understand to scale it up to a commercial level, and people who want to get into commercial level can directly get the information, because it is staged and it is divided and structured in such a way that each production line can have a different approach. So I have discussed a bit about the challenges also of BSF farming, and detailed economics behind BSF farming as well. Next slide. Mohit will explain about how the course is going to be conducted. Over to you, Mohit.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, so this was an amazing presentation, and to everyone who is watching it, this is just the trailer. The course is even more amazing. You'll get to learn a lot. This is just the introduction, not even the introduction, and we'll be having more like we will get recorded videos. So I'll tell you how the course will be conducted. It will be 4 to 5 weeks long. Every weekend we'll be having one discussion class, live class on Zoom. You can access it within a mobile app, and it will be open to discussion, and you can ask all your doubts. Ma'am will be discussing advanced topics as well. Other than that, you will also get pre-recorded lectures, which you can watch anytime with lifetime access. Again, you can do the same on a mobile app. You will have all the access for now or even later. And the third important is the WhatsApp groups. So we also form WhatsApp groups, which you can drop a message in case you have any doubt at any point of time. Ma'am is also there in those groups, and she will be answering your questions to the best possible situation. And the answer is also quick. So we have made this course in such a way that you get the best experience possible, and you get to learn a lot, and you get to learn it in the most affordable fashion. So we have priced it really, really affordable. We have kept it affordable. You can purchase it for just rupees 699. You can purchase it on our app or our website rocketskills.in. You can download our mobile app Rocket Skills from Play Store on Android phone. And if you have any kind of question, just drop a WhatsApp on 83560381148. The number is mentioned on the screen. We'll be quick to respond. We'll help you out as much as possible. So please drop a message. Other than that, if you're interested in trying out Black Soldier Fly, do not miss this opportunity. Do purchase this course and get an opportunity to learn from Anupa ma'am and start a BSF farming business, because it is insanely profitable and requires very low investment. So having said that, I think we can take up a few questions. We don't have a lot of time right now with us, but I think we can take a few questions. So do mention your questions in the chat or the comment section. So the first question that has come up is Krishna Kumar, by Krishna Kumar. He's asking, do you need a cold storage facility for storing processed BSF product?
Okay, it depends. You want to give the product as frozen, then yeah, you need a cold storage facility to keep the product as in frozen state. But for dried and all, you don't require the cold storage. The shelf life will be close to 3 to 4 months, and for higher to increase the shelf life, we have other methods also. So you don't require exactly for, it depends again for as per the product requirement and the market requirement.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Anil Srinivas on YouTube is asking, can we start in city or town between the houses? Will smell come and be objectionable? So he's asking, can it be started in a dense place?
If it is a small scale unit, so it is okay to start with a indoor setup or in your terrace or in a small space. Once the BSF start processing the waste, organic waste, the smell odor will be reduced totally. Almost 90% of the odor is will get reduced. But if you're storing the waste for some time and not utilizing it for your BSF culture, if you are not leaving your BSF larvae to process that waste, then it is going to definitely create smell. So as far as small unit is concerned, you can manage within the urban area. But if you are going for a commercial level unit, better to look for a suburb area or in rural place.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
The next question is from Ram Malela again on YouTube. And I think we can make this our last question since we are a little short on time. Uh, Ram is asking, is harvesting of larvae time sensitive?
Time sensitive in the sense, yes, you have to harvest the larvae within the matured time, right? It is going to get matured between anywhere between 10 to 15 days. So within that time, you have to harvest the larvae. Yes, it is. If you don't harvest, it is going to go into the next stage, pre-pupa stage. So you have to harvest before that.
Got it, ma'am. Sorry, I guess. All right. I think we won't be able to take up more questions, although we see a lot of interest from candidates. So all those who are interested in further knowing about Black Soldier Fly, do sign up with on a course by Anupa ma'am. You'll get to learn a lot. It will be an interesting opportunity, and it is very affordable at just rupees 699. So in case of any doubt, you can WhatsApp 83560381148. That is mentioned over here, and we would love to answer all your questions. I think today's session was amazing. Would love to know your advice and suggestions as well. Did you guys like it? If you guys like today's session, do comment in the chat in the comment section. And we would love to understand more about how your experience was. Other than that, before we close, Anupa ma'am, if you can just like mention, like say your closing remarks for the session and what everyone should remember as a takeaway from this session.
Thanks, Morgan. Thanks a lot for all of you to spend time and join this webinar. Uh, have trust, BSF market is improving, and be the early bird to get into the industry. Do your own research also, because what's happening in the entire world in other parts of the countries. So you will get the details and know the depth this market is having. So please do your part research also, and it is a very affordable course. We are bringing it in a very affordable way, price point, just to increase the awareness and knowledge about BSF farming. Because end of the day, the demand is high. Unless the BSF farming in itself expands, we won't be able to tap the market. So let's be the early bird to grasp the opportunity. Do join the course, and you'll get to know the details as efficiently as possible. And Rocket Skills, thanks to them, they are doing their best in giving the support and making the knowledge available in every part of the country. Thanks all for joining. Thank you, Mohit.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was an amazing presentation and a really nice experience for all of us. And we would love for you, all of you guys, to join us. Not only in a course, be part of the community. You get to learn a lot, and like we have really interesting people with us, and the instructors, Anupa ma'am, will guide you. Like I don't think such guidance and mentoring is available anywhere in the country right now. You get the best of the experts in each of the field. So that is all for today. Thank you again for joining us on Friday evening, and take care everyone, stay safe, and good night. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for the whole session.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mohit.
Bye.
Bye.